is Anthony Edwards a top 10 player? Now, Rodney wants to provide his top 10 players as of right now, and me and Jerome, we can feed off of that. But just to be 100% genuine, I wouldn't put Anthony Edwards as my top 10 just yet. I honestly have to sit down and write that down because there are a lot of guys that can make their case as far as who is a top 10 player. But I think Anthony Edwards is starting to creep up into that top 10. I think he is knocking on the door on that. But yeah, there are a lot of guys that can be in the top 10. But yeah, I think Anthony Edwards, he's straight out balling this year, and he's playing like a top 10 player. There's no question about it. Mm-hmm. And he's arguably the best player as far as who is under 25. And of course, it is a lot of people would say Luka, and don't get me wrong. I mean, Luka, he's been the best player under 25 for quite some time now. But I mean, Anthony Edwards, all I'm saying is this year he's making his case. But yeah. Rodney, who is your top 10 players? As of right now.
Well, let's get the top 5 out of the way, because I think the top 5 is a little bit more obvious. So obviously, number 1 is obviously going to be Jokic. That's pretty, like, we really don't.
You're going in order, or you just saying?
Yeah, we're going in order.
Okay.
I'm going in order. So number 1 is obviously Jokic. I mean, there's really no argument now. So my top 5 right now is Jokic, Giannis, Luka, Tatum, and this year, this is going to be surprising. Probably a little bit hot take. Shea.
No Joel?
Shea.
I knew something. I knew. Wait. No. Let me go.
Flip flop Joel and Shea. You can argue, Noel at the 5 and Shea at 6. But it's just that I think with Shea's game, I think it's going to be more dependable in the playoffs. That's the only reason why I will give him the slight edge over Joel, because Joel has proven he's a great player in the regular season. But come playoff time, he stinks it up. Especially last year. You could pretty much say last year, I'm not saying it, but a lot of people has considered his MVP season a sympathy MVP. Wow. Because if you're going to be considered the best player in the league, you gotta show up in the playoffs.
Okay, that was your top 5. So who's the next top?
So
next 5.
Number 6, Joel Embiid. Number 7. Ooh, this is tough because 7 to 10 is obviously going to be the toughest people. But I have, when healthy, obviously, I got Devin Booker at 7. I got KD at 8. I got, surprisingly, Damian Lillard at 9 because he's that guy. When he's healthy, he is that guy. He has proven that. And then number 10, LeBron. Because LeBron is not the same player that he is, 2018, 2017. He's about to turn 39 later on in the year, so he's not the same impactful player like he is because, age is going to catch up to him. So you can't say, oh, LeBron is a top 5 player because it's LeBron. No, you can't do that. You got to be honest with yourself. LeBron is not the same player, and he's not a top 10, top 5 player like he has been for almost 20 years. You got to come to reality. And I think Anthony Edwards, he's like that 11 to 15 range with Anthony Edwards. And, of course, I got to represent with Anthony Edwards because he's from Atlanta. He's an Atlanta boy, thick and through. So I got to represent for that man. Born in Atlanta, went to UGA, number 1 overall pick. I got to represent for Anthony Edwards because he has proven to be that dog. And it doesn't matter what our man Jerome says. I think he would be a better option for the Hawks rather than Kawhi Leonard.
That'll be another time for a discuss because that could go for no 2 hours. But
I actually agree with you on that point, and it's because Anthony Edwards right now, he's 22 years old. The man's putting up 28 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, and he's shooting the 3-ball really good too, man. And he has that dog in him. He wants that moment. He knows he's the guy, and a lot of when he came into Minnesota, it was looked at as Karl Anthony Towns' team, and it really only took him about 3 years, maybe maybe even 2 to really just take over that and make that his entire franchise. I have a lot of respect for what Anthony Edwards is doing, and I think that, especially with how he played in the FIBA World Cup, even though Team USA couldn't get the win there, he showed out and showed that he was really ready to break out. So I think this year, we're going to have to see him do it for the entire year. I think he could definitely play his way into those top 10 discussions if he can have Minnesota have a season that many people aren't expecting them to have right now. But he has that talent to be a top 10 guy, especially as he ages. Going into your list, there was a surprising omission. Of course, Kawhi Leonard not being there, but I do agree with majority of your list. If I got to rail off my top 10 real quick.
Yeah, I agree too, but just one quick second.
Yeah.
Now, Shea, don't get me wrong. He is one of the best, arguably the best point guard, but some people may say, I think Steph is the best point guard. I think as number 1, some people would say Dame, and some people may say Shea. But I can't put him over Joel Embiid. I just can't. Even though people say that, well, it was Jokic that should have won MVP last year, and I think he should have. But even if he didn't, Joel Embiid, he's one of those guys that is very dominant. I think he's just as dominant as Jokic. I still think Jokic is the better player if I had to pick between the two, because Jokic is a walking triple-double, and yeah. Name one other big man that plays like that. But Shai, I think there's still more he has to prove in order for him to be a top 5 player. Now, some people say he's a top 10, and again, when you talk about guys like Shea and Anthony Edwards, those guys, these younger players that are coming up, you can make a case as far as who's going to take that 10th spot, but yeah, I just can't take him over Joel.
Yeah, and Joel, he gets better every single season. I understand his playoff reputation, but I think that you can't have him off the top 5 if we're talking about best players in the NBA. And Shai, so far, he's been in the league for about 5 years. I think this is year number 6.
Yeah, same, because he was in the same draft class with Shai.
And he's only been to the postseason 1 time, and that was a loss in 7 games in the bubble. So right now, I don't really have that playoff resume with Shai Gilgeous, especially when you look at how Joel Embiid's playing right now and what the Sixers are doing right now. I don't think you could leave him off. But, real quick, is Anthony Edwards a top 10 player? Well, he's not better than Jokic. Luka's balling out. I will put Giannis up there too. Embiid. Steph Curry, is he top 5? I give him that nod just because of the reputation.
Because you didn't mention Steph at top 10.
I think that was...
Yeah, I messed up. So I got to do my relist because Steph Curry...
I just thought of that.
Yeah, because people are going to get on me for not mentioning Steph Curry.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure your phone's going to blow up pretty soon.
And plus, I would not put Damian Lillard over Steph Curry. So I'll probably put Steph Curry around about between...
Yeah, I think you should take out Shai and then put Steph.
No, I'll take off Dame because I would not have Dame over Steph Curry.
But yeah,
I'm just saying. Well, I'm just saying. I think Shai, as I said before, I think Shai is one of those guys like Anthony Edwards that's cracking into that top 10 because
I just think Shea is a dog.
I think low key though, he does rely on foul baiting just as much as Joel Embiid and Jimmy Butler and a lot of these dudes that do the foul baiting stuff that folks say can't work in the playoffs. Then again, Jimmy Butler's made a career out of making those playoff moments happen because he gets a lot of fouls drawn too. So maybe Shai can help that game translate into the postseason, but so far in his career, we haven't really seen it. Granted, OKC's been tanking for majority of his time there, so maybe
it's only a matter of time when OKC really takes off because the amount of assets that they have, it's just ridiculous.
They're going to take off. Josh Giddey, they're going to take off, and yeah, like y'all said, I really messed up. So I'm gonna probably put Curry at 5. Cause I think, as great as I think, Shea is, I may be probably overrating him just a little bit. So probably what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take out Shea and I'll put Curry at 5. Because Curry still, he's still the best point guard in the game. Of course, there's going to be Luka and whatnot, and there's going to be a lot of Steph haters, but Steph, best shooter of all time. And in my opinion, we can have this discussion another time. I think he's the second best point guard of all time behind Urban Magic Johnson. We can have that discussion another day, but yeah, for me, it was wrong for me to have Steph Curry out my top 5. I would have been. I would have been.
You're all good, man.